James Cristiano, first time on the cast. You got something in front of you. What is this and why is it there?
So we got Surfside Iced Tea Vodka. Not only is it my favorite, it is a sponsor, and over here at the office we love it dearly, so I had to bring it on to the podcast today.
I'm not going to lie. We're not going to be drinking it on the podcast, though. Although they are a sponsor, we love it. What do we got here? 4.5% alcohol by volume. I don't believe that for a second. Some people in the office have 2 or 3 of these, and they are completely smashed, which we're not condoning. Drink responsibly. But Surfside, yes, thank you so much for being a premier alcohol sponsor with Leap Brands. We love you. We wish we saw a lot more of you out in Vegas. I think Dom found it at one of the bars, and then that was pretty much it.
Definitely gets me going.
All right, good. Gets him going. Well, he obviously had 3 or 4 before this pod started. But listen, I'm bringing everyone in. I want to make sure everyone gets a little bit more camera time and talking a little bit about what it is that we're doing over here, maybe some issues that we're running into, objections, whatever the case may be. But this was your first week in the office while me and the boys were out at IFA. Just want to hear a little bit about your experience without me being in the office and Dom and obviously having the other people to talk to.
So I mean, obviously I'm a little new here. So the training wheels definitely came off last week, and going on your own and calling up people and not being able to go in your office and ask you questions because you're over in Vegas, living it up, getting a little bit
what?
A little bit whacked.
Okay, we're gonna cut that. You can say whacked. We're good. We got a little bit whacked. We drank a little bit. For the franchise people, the corporate people, they don't go there for the actual convention. They go there for the nightlife. So
yeah, but it was very good. Listen, got that fee agreement out in late times, but it was good. It was good not being in the office, with the silence sometimes, but it's hard not being with you guys.
All right. Well, listen, we talked about it with I don't know if it was with Kevin or someone else, but you signed our first telecom client, which is strange considering that's not the area we play in. We've talked about diversification, becoming recession-proof. We're growing in all these different verticals, and it was certainly not somewhere I was putting my focus. And you came in and said, hey, we just signed this client. This is the role that we have. The fuck were you thinking? Or how did that all come about? Again, just try to do it in a way that makes us all sound intelligent.
Yeah, listen, I'm out here on my LinkedIn, and I'm connecting with everybody. I'm reaching out to everybody. Even though we have areas we focus in, my thought process is why not branch out? So, I got on the phone with, a great candidate who turned into a great
client. All right, so essentially from what I'm hearing is you had a really good candidate. We're working on a role. I know which role it was. Ultimately, the position got shut down because of the acquisition that fell through. You made a good enough impression on him to say, hey, you guys are really great at what you do. Why don't you come recruit for us?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I just opened that door real quick, and, I thought that why not ask? Instead of just letting the call go and build the development throughout the weeks, Why not ask right away and see where we can go? And he took the chance on me, and here we are now.
That is unbelievable. I have to kind of think through maybe what we can actually share in this now because we don't want to give too much away. I guess I should say we actually have 15 telecom clients, so they can't figure out which telecom client it was with the candidate that was looking for a new role.
Couldn't remember.
But listen, all ops guys, they're always keeping their eyes open for new positions, and I don't think he was actively looking by any means. But listen, you've been here for a couple of months now. You have gone through this customer success role, straight biz dev. Now you're recruiting. Tell me a little bit about that transition from coming in where your sole goal was to figure out from our past clients and candidates how their experience has been, how we can improve it to, hey, now go out and find us business. Oh, and by the way, go fill some fucking roles. I don't know why I'm cursing so much here. So I didn't curse on any of the other ones. I think you bring it out of me. But just talk to me a little bit about that progression, what you're liking, what you're not liking. I think your role is ever changing, which is really cool. You're kind of the utility player. You're like the Swiss Army knife. What does it look like for James over the next 6 to 12 months?
Yeah, right now, it's definitely been challenging, but in a good way. It's pushing me out of my comfort zone. I never did this in college. I never did this in high school. I never really worked towards something like that at this pace.
Yep.
And being consistently busy, working all the time, I think it's awesome, and it's something that I looked forward to doing in my 20s and grinding out the rest of my 20s. But, the next 6 months looks like, continuing to get better, learning how to be more effective and how I can get us more clients and get us more money.
So if I'm hearing this right, once your 20s are done, you're out. You're going out to pasture. You're going to work for some corporate fuck.
Absolutely not. No, we are going to run our own business one day. We're be making a lot of money. And that's the goal. That's the goal to get there. I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing, but I know I'm going to get there.
Well, you're still one of the foundational people in this company, right? We've only been in business with NewCo now for just over 2 years. And again, you were there during the infancy, during your internship, which again, we paid no attention to you. You guys ate long subs at Italian food. That was literally what you guys learned, was which restaurants were close by, which ones were overcharged, which ones were worth paying the money for. But I'll tell you, every single person that we've talked to, when you look at who the recruiter of the year can be, employee of the year, I think we might have to change it to that, because now we're going to so many different areas. Zeke is obviously the front runner. I mean, the kid is killing it right now. But everyone has you at number 2, right? Because one, you're accomplishing things that most of us have not accomplished at your stage in your career. You're doing a lot of things right, and you bring the energy that gets everyone to be like, all right, that kid is working harder than we are. He has not been here that long. Why are we going to do that? Pause. Don't keep that, Pepe. But the one thing I brought up with Kevin was, you still have a little bit of that anxiety of maybe you don't think you're doing enough. And I see you work 7 days a week, you're working as many hours as I am, maybe even more sometimes. Where does that kind of come from? Because that's what we're trying to figure out.
I don't know. I think that I've always had this feeling that I need to be perceived in a way that maybe others just want to see me continually do good. And when I'm not doing as good as I thought I was, it gets in my head. It gives me a little bit of anxiety, but the reassurance is what makes me feel a lot better.
Yeah.
So, but it's never made me feel worse about myself. It's never made me hate on myself. It just made me feel like, okay, grind more, grind more, do more. Even though maybe I'm doing enough, but I feel like in my head, it's never enough.
Doing more will potentially make you wealthy, which is cool. Having money is awesome. But I think it's more so strategically in where you're putting your hours in, right? It is about putting in these smart hours where you're not just doing mindless work for no reason. And I've seen that you've been very intentional with your time, whether it's on the recruiting side, the customer success, or the biz dev piece. It seems like you're very locked in on a lot of that. And you have made some connections that even I have not made yet. You're getting us a lot of really good connections and calls. But as the company grows, right, and I talked about with the other guys too, we're seeing this shift now because we are growing so rapidly. People are taking on new responsibilities that I maybe wasn't anticipating them taking on until maybe year 4 or 5. You too are going to continue to have to step up. You're doing really, really well, but we're going to start bringing the younger guys in that have zero experience. You at least now have a couple of months of it, where people are going to be coming to you and say, hey, James, I don't know what I'm doing. Can you guide me? Yeah. You think you're ready for that?
Absolutely. I've been wanting to step up into a leadership position, and that's something I see myself as a leader. So I want to be able to help the next guys who come through here get better too.
That's awesome. Well, obviously we have a really good culture. It's a family culture. It's a team culture. So it's gonna be a little bit uncomfortable, but you have to answer it. But if there's one person in this office that you would just punch right in the face, whatever reason, who would that be?
You.
Are you kidding me?
No.
All right, it's not a bad answer. It's actually about your best political answer, because no one's going to get mad at you, and maybe you should stick with it. But they don't pose it again. If there's one person in here, you know what? I just want to give him a quick shot because we need to knock him down a peg, or he looked at me weird, or just because you were hovering as we were playing Blitz earlier, we're giving you a lot of you-know-what. So
yeah, I mean, I can never really punch anybody in the face, but yeah, I didn't like when Dom kept looking behind me during playing Blitz. So Dom. He's always looking at me while playing Blitz.
I'm going to go out here immediately and tell Dom that the first person James wants to slap in the face, whether this gets published or not. But listen,
no, never Dom.
The one compliment that we got a lot of compliments at IFA, which was really cool. And there were also some humbling experiences out there that I talked about during our meeting this morning, was our content. Our content is what's driving us. It's what's separating us from everybody else out there. Okay, we're in a very boring legacy type of an industry that we're trying to modernize, that we're trying to bring some life to and excitement. Because at the end of the day, we're changing people's lives, right? We're changing companies. We're making them better every single day. And there will be some bad hires along the way, whether it's on our side or the client side. But we're truly making a difference in people's lives. And I think that's the one thing that separates us from a lot of recruiters is, at the end of the day, what we're doing is relatively transactional, but we try to make it feel as though it is not. And I've gotten a lot of compliments about you, obviously all the boys out there, but you and subs kind of seem to be the ones that create the best candidate and client experience. So I think if there's one thing you can do that would better the company, it's by showing some of those things that you are doing with a lot of those guys out there, because as great as they are and the compliments I got on them, I think they could be a little bit better. I think learning from you, who has not been there and done that, I think will go a really long way.
Yeah, and I think that, I think that's a really great point. And obviously I would love if these guys can learn off me, because, the past couple of months I've been learning off them.
Yeah.
And they've been instrumental in, developing me into who I am today and who I will be tomorrow. So I'd love to be able to have that rub back off on them. So.
Well, I think the fact that you're signing more clients than they are, and you're still doing recruiting and customer success, is driving them to want to do a little bit more. So I think we're doing everything right. I want you to start doing a bit more of these, maybe not sitting next to me, but get the guys involved, do some content. We got to get your name out there. We have to build a brand outside of Leap. Leap has its own identity, and each of us have our own personal brands that we're trying to work into it. So I know you've not figured out what yours is yet. I don't know if I know what mine is at this point. So I went from the quirky, fun guy doing crazy, stupid videos to now trying to be a little bit more buttoned up and professional. but still trying to keep my edge to it a little bit. But I am now getting to that age, unfortunately, where I'm probably going to step back a little bit more, and you guys are kind of surpassing me on the professional side. So
Yeah.
gotta figure out what that is, and you have to do a lot more videos.
For sure, no, and that's, I want to be able to, separate myself. Like, this is Chris Wunder, this is Dom Trombino, like, this is James. And when they log onto Leap, that's the 3 different things they see when they log on.
Yeah.
I want the people to know who James Cristiano is.
Yeah.
So that's definitely a goal, to find out what my type of content is.
All right, awesome. We'll give you a minute to pitch it or something. So whether it's a position you're working on, trying to help us find some new recruiters because we need them desperately, or give your pitch for someone that should use our services. So either a position about us or why people need to use us.
I mean, if you want to come recruit here, this is an amazing place to work at. It's an amazing place to come to. It's somewhere you're going to wake up in the morning and be excited to go into work and talk to the people here. It's been amazing. I've changed the entire person that I am into someone that I've always wanted to be because I came here. So I think that everybody will get that type of experience if they put in the work. The work is the most important part of it.
So if you want to come work with Leap Brands, we are actively hiring, not just for interns. We love actually doing our farm system where you're an intern first, then get converted to full-time. But we are at a point now where we're growing a little bit too rapidly. We need to maybe make some strategic risks and hire people. So if you are of the younger generation, I love the older generation. Let's be fair. I'm an equal opportunity employer. We like the green ones. We want the ones that are going to come in like James, learn from us, bring some new ideas. Reach out to Chris or James at leapbrands.io, and we'll see you next week.
Next week.
Cheers.